Shepard and Matt Kukoc.
Thank you, Bob. Yes, that was 636 days ago, so 21 months after his last appearance in an NBA game. Only 5 months after his number 23 was raised to the rafters in Chicago, Michael Jordan has returned, and he's wearing number 45. And Matt, for you trivia buffs out there, the last member of the Chicago Bulls to wear number 45 back in the 92-93 season, a fellow by the name of Ed Nealy, who was a very popular member of the Chicago Bulls.
I remember Ed well, also with the Phoenix Suns. Marv, there's a lot of special moments in NBA basketball. Usually the opening game of the season, the playoff, 7th game of the series, the finals. I don't know about you, but I got the goosebumps for this one. This is very special.
Interesting, and it is home team privilege how they did diffuse the introduction of Michael Jordan, making sure that the Pacers got their due. Very quick in ending the announcement, letting the crowd respond as they did, and then getting right to the Indiana Pacers. And Derek McKee of the Pacers controlling the opening tip. The officials, Dick Bavetta, Ken Mauer, and Ed F. Rush. Mark Jackson guarded by B.J. Armstrong. Michael Jordan on Reggie Miller here at the start, and Jordan comes up with the ball.
Michael Eberle actually was knocked loose by Will Perdue, but Michael's so quick right now. He looks lightning quick.
Well, he does have the fresh legs. Not in outstanding basketball condition, but in very fine physical condition. Here is Tony Kukoc dumping it off. Will Perdue pops it out. Michael Jordan looking for the shot. Not able to hit on his first attempt.
Shot clock was down to 4. That's when usually Scottie Pippen used to get the ball, and before that, that's when Jordan would get it under those kinds of conditions.
Jordan played by Jackson to the spin. Rebounded by Rick Smith. Well, Phil Jackson told us earlier he was concerned that the Bulls will be looking too much for Jordan. Reggie Miller not able to hit from downtown. Pippen try to go back more, and the ball goes back to Indiana.
Well, on the post feed to Rick Smith, Perdue actually giving him too much ground here, but then the quick hands of Michael Jordan to come up with the loose one. Both shots that Michael have taken have looked smooth and nice, just haven't dropped yet.
Double team on Smith's got it out for Jackson. Rebounded by Dale Davis. And here is Smith. Well, the NBA Player of the Week this past week, Rick Smith, who has been on a tear, gives Indiana a 2-0 lead. Kukoc at the high post. Armstrong cutting to the corner. Met by Jackson and that double team. Here is Kukoc finding Pippen for 3. Get the idea that the Bulls are a little rattled here at the start as Miller is able to go all the way.
Well, there's no question the Bulls are tight right now, despite the fact they're running the very familiar triangle offense. Michael has played with 4 of those players out on the floor, but nothing is very smooth right this second.
Kukoc try to get the step, rejected. Recovered by Kukoc and rebounded by Davis. 4-0 Pacers with 2.5 gone by. Smith could not handle the pass, and it will be Chicago ball.
Well, Larry Brown wants his wing players, Derek McKee and this man, Reggie Miller, to get out as quickly as possible to take some pressure off that half-court offense. The Pacers are a good rebounding team. They must take advantage of it by getting their fast breaks.
Well, the Bulls hold for their first 5. Reggie Miller guarding Michael Jordan. B.J. Armstrong. Shot clock at 5. Armstrong for Perdue. Make it 0 for 6 here at the start for Chicago. McKee saw the opening. Pass to Miller, and a foul is called. Reggie Miller will go to the line.
Well, to compound the problems for the Bulls, who are running their offense somewhat patiently, you got to give some credit, a lot of credit to the Indiana defense by forcing a couple of tough shots and misses, but the Chicago Bulls transition defense very sluggish right now, and the Pacers are taking advantage of it.
Indiana Pacers Friday night here at Market Square beat Orlando 107-97. They have won 2 straight over Milwaukee And Orlando, this following the successful West Coast swing. They won 5 of their last 6 overall. They've had big wins on that recent road trip at San Antonio and at Phoenix. While Chicago Friday night at home beat Milwaukee. Bulls coming back from a 15-point fourth-quarter deficit for the Bulls. A rare fourth-quarter comeback. That has been their problem, in particular in the third quarter. Here's Pippen. Got the step. Equal count and the foul.
Interesting that time, Marv. The Bulls came down and spread their offense even further out to try to stretch that defense to get some driving scenes. Here, the quick give and go from Purdue to Scottie Pippen got a favorable whistle there on the continuation as the Bulls have been dying to get on the board.
Eric McKee was called on the foul, so Chicago with its first field goal. They missed their opening 6 shots. 6-2, Indiana. Third meeting of the season between these two clubs. They split the previous 2. Reggie Miller. And that is career three-pointer number 999 for Reggie. 9-2, Indiana. Kukoc from deep. And back comes McKee. McKee delivers to Dale Davis.
3 seconds.
And a 3-second violation call.
Lane violation.
Well, Reggie Miller open on this rotation because of the double team on Rick Smith's side. The little man, B.J. Armstrong, went down the double team and left the opening as Reggie needing one more.
Yes, looking for number 1,000. Chicago opening 1 for 8. Ball. Defensively, Jordan remaining on Miller. Purdue jumping out, but could not hold on. It will be Indiana ball with 6 on the shot clock.
The Bulls coming out of the timeout and going to a post-up for Michael Jordan to see if they can't get him inside or get fouled. He's probably not going to get fouled on too many fadeaways. Michael, I have a feeling, is going to start taking the ball to the hoop.
Beautiful setup from Jackson. Mark Jackson for Dale Davis, and the Pacers lead 11-2. Here is Pippen coming up short and hearing it.
Well, Phil Jackson's biggest fear at the beginning of this ballgame is that everybody would just be out of sync. There's just no way to recreate what Michael was able to do in 3.5 practices under game conditions.
Dick Bavetta with the indication that Kukoc had touched it out of bounds. This, of course, the first time that Tony Kukoc has been on the same floor with Michael Jordan in league competition. Shot clock at 8. Miller from way downtown. Davis gets inside. So Chicago continues to have difficulties off the board. Davis, 5 rebounds, 2 block shots, along with 4 points, and it's a 13-2 Indiana lead. 6:35 remaining in this opening quarter. Jordan fires. Rebound Smith. So Michael has missed his first 4.
And all of those shots are hitting the front rim, an indication that the legs are a little tired.
Reggie Miller going around Michael Jordan, but coming up short on the reverse, and a foul is called on the Pacers. It's on Smith, and that is his first.
And this is always a concern of Larry Brown with Rick Smith. He'll usually pick up a couple of ticky-tack ones early, similar to that for an illegal block. But it's nice to have Antonio Davis back and healthy and making major contributions.
Antonio Davis has had back problems, and he is about to check in. Dale Davis has had problems with a separated shoulder on 2 occasions. Fouls on Mark Jackson. This is Antonio